In our number 10 spot, we have the elevator game. Okay, out of all the creepy games on this list, this one is the most interesting to me, and I'm not going to lie, I am tempted to try it. Must resist. The reason this game is particularly interesting to me and borderline cool is because this is a game that shows you another world. Yep, it's a sort of parallel universe mirror where you can see into another world. Basically, you get into an elevator of a building that has 10 floors, specifically 10 floors. You then select the 4th floor, but don't get out. Then the 2nd floor, but don't get out. Then the 6th floor, and repeat. Then the 2nd floor again, then the 10th floor, and then the 5th floor. At the 5th floor, a woman may get in. Do not speak to her. Don't acknowledge her at all. Then select the 1st floor. If the elevator goes to the 10th floor, then proceed with the game. But if it goes down to the 1st floor, then get out right away. If it goes to the 10th floor, then you will have the option to get out and explore the alternate dimension. In order to get home, you have to get back in the elevator and repeat the number sequence, finishing on the 5th floor and then going to the 1st floor. Never speak to the woman in the elevator or make eye contact with her. I can only imagine that she will eat your soul if you do. Honestly, best to probably stay clear of this game actually. If you're liking this video, don't forget to smash that like button as it will really help us out. In our number 9 spot, we have Dry Bones. So this game is pretty terrifying. Here's a game where you get to summon a demon. Such fun. I wish I could understand the headspace one must be in to be excited about the possibility of this game. Woo, today I'm gonna summon a demon. Woo, can't wait. Nah, it's probably today a demon will be summoned and I shall get my revenge. That sounds more likely. Anyways, basically to play this game, you have to hold a candle in the dark up to a mirror and do a little Bloody Mary first. Then once you feel a presence, you say, I acknowledge your presence. I welcome you into my home for a game of hide and seek until 3 a.m. Come until 3 a.m. Come in now. Then you run for your life and hide. But be quiet so the demon doesn't hear where you hide. If he somehow doesn't find you, then you're safe, and at 3 a.m. you can tell him that he is no longer welcome in your house and he will have to leave. If he catches you, then you will probably die, / your soul will get eaten, or whatever demons do with souls. Again, why oh why would anyone want to play this game? I don't know. In our number 8 spot, we have Daruma-san. This is the strangest paranormal game. Basically, this is a game that you start playing while in the bathtub. You speak some summoning words and then go to sleep as normal. The next day, you will wake up and Daruma-san, the spirit of a Japanese woman, will follow you everywhere and will try to catch you. If this spirit gets too close, you can say Tomer, and that will give you time to run. Before midnight on the same day, you have to look at the spirit over your right shoulder and yell, Kita! And swing your arm in a downward cutting motion. Kita. If you don't do this, then the spirit may enter your dreams. I'm assuming it ends once you sleep or you tell the spirit to be gone, but man, it is so not a good idea to summon demons or bad spirits. You just never know what could happen. In our number 7 spot, we have the 11-mile game. This one appears kind of fun, but then also not, because it requires so much in order to have a wish fulfilled. But yeah, this is a game where you will have a wish fulfilled if you win. Basically, you get into a car and drive to the country where no one is. Then you begin driving up to 11 miles, and as you get further and further, then you will begin to see / hear paranormal activity in your car and outside of it. Do not acknowledge it. As you drive more and more, you'll feel more paranormal activity, as well as your car may stall and also completely stop. Not terrifying at all. You're supposed to ignore it and keep going till you hit 11 miles, and if you make it all the way, then your wish is granted. I may be playing this game on Halloween night, but honestly, I bet you death is the consequence, so I might have to chew on this a little while longer. I just love presents though, so it's very hard. In our number 6 spot, we have the closet game. The closet game is literally a game that could basically be the reason you get pulled into hell. Let me explain. This one seems like probably one of the most risky games. I mean, what if you actually die? Is anyone with me? I don't understand. Anyways, apparently you need to be inside of a closet with an unlit match and then say the words show me the light or leave me in darkness. You should hear a demon then whisper to you, and when you hear the whisper, you must immediately light your match and step out of your closet. If you lit the match in time and didn't get dragged into hell by this demon, then you won the game. So simple and yet horrifying. You're also never to open your closet again in the dark, or you may cross paths with the demon again. I repeat my earlier notion, such fun. In our number 5 spot, we have Bloody Mary. This is the classic childhood game that everyone spoke about doing back in the day, but I swear no one actually did it properly. Also, looking back, I'm not surprised as to why all of us 90s babies were doing it. We were thrown in front of movies like Practical Magic and The Craft, and watched Are You Afraid of the Dark every Sunday night, so clearly we were just a result of the media we were consuming. Anyways, I recently learned that in order to play Bloody Mary properly, you need to have a candle with you. I swear not a lot of people knew that, probably because we were kids though and we wouldn't be allowed to hold candles, especially ones that are lit. Anyways, you go into a dark bathroom between midnight and 3 a.m. with a lit candle in hand, and you have to also have 4 other lit candles around you. Then look into the mirror and say Bloody Mary 13 times while visualizing her energy. Open your eyes and be prepared to either see an eyeless skeleton or someone with the eyes of her past victims. Then run away or tell the spirit to be gone because she'll probs eat you. Maybe don't try this at home, kids. In our number 4 spot, we have One Man Hide and Go Seek. Anyone watching get creeped out about dolls? Well, I do, and this next game is so scary, so if you are the same, maybe skip this one. One Man Hide and Go Seek game is a pretty elaborate game, so I'm not going to go into full detail about how to play it. It will take up too much time, so Google it. But basically in this game, you will be summoning a spirit into a doll. You will be deconstructing the doll, filling it with rice, strands of hair, and also nail clippings. Gross. And then you sew it up with red thread, give it a name that you repeat 3 times, and then throw it into a bath with water. You then run and hide and eventually come back and injure the doll with a sharp object. Honestly, there's too much to this game and it's so weird and creepy. You eventually have to burn the doll. Honestly, I recommend just skipping everything and burn the doll because they all are creepy. Except Barbie. Love that girl. We go way back. In our number 3 spot, we have the Midnight Game. The Midnight Game is a game you play if you want to torture yourself psychologically. It is not a game you play if you plan on feeling safe in your home ever again. This game was actually used to punish people at one point. It was a part of an old pagan ritual used to punish people. You basically summon the Midnight Man at midnight and then you walk around your house while making sure you do not get caught by him. If you manage to avoid him until 3:33 a.m., then you will have won. But the prize that you will have won is psychological and physical exhaustion and possibly fear and PTSD from this torturous event. Not a prize I'm down for. In some tellings of this game, the Midnight Man actually leaves you a present, basically something you desire. Honestly, that makes me want to play it because I love prezzies, but yeah, better not. In our number 2 spot, we have the Ouija board. One game you should never ever play is the Ouija board, but I know so many of you watching are rebels, so you probs will no matter what I say, so hey. Don't say I didn't warn ya. This is a literal board game that is a way to communicate with spirit. The catch though is you will never know what kind of spirit, so it could be a dark and tricky demon. I played this as a kid and my mom threw it out into the street and 4 days later I was in the hospital. No one knew what was wrong with me and I was so bad that the doctor thought I was going to die. It wasn't until my aunt took my Ouija board off the street and took it home that a random doctor from the US discovered that I had pneumonia and obviously I was saved. True story. Play at your own risk. In our number 1 spot, we have the stalking game. Apparently this is a game you only play when you feel a spontaneous urge to do so. So just go with your gut. Don't play it if you don't feel drawn to it. It has to be a spontaneous decision. The person must first walk to a crossroad, reach into their pocket, and hold an item in their right hand. Then you're supposed to spin in the direction of the first bird you see, and then follow the first stranger you see. If you lose sight of the person you're following, you're supposed to go home right away and sleep. If the stranger being stalked is lost because they go inside their home, you should go to bed at your normal time. If the stranger becomes lost because they entered a building that isn't a house, you have to stay up for 24 hours before finally sleeping. The item needs to be held the entire time you stalk the stranger, and you should place it under your pillow before sleeping. You have to stay in bed until you dream, that is the rule. You should dream about your own death day, a bloody woman with no eyes, spirits that give you advice, an angel, or of course a demon. Play this game at your own risk. You have been warned, child.
And we're going to kick off the list with Suji-ura. In the West, this is known as the Crossroads game, but it has its origins in Japan. For this game, all you'll need is a comb, something to cover your face with, a friend, and a crossroads. I'm telling you to bring a friend because this game is played at night, and I'm not encouraging anyone to go out alone and do this, especially if you're younger. Do not do this, kids. So you go out to a crossroads at night with your friend, and you run your finger across the teeth of the comb 3 times while repeating 3 times, Suji-ura, Suji-ura, grant me a true response. Then you just wait. If someone you know approaches the crossroad, the ritual has failed. But if a stranger starts approaching, cover your eyes with the item you've brought with you and ask them to tell you your fortune. Now be ready for whatever they answer. Do not uncover your face until the stranger walks away. This is why I'm not recommending that you do this one. You don't want to be talking to a stranger and covering your face. Alright, so just proceed with caution. Next up, we have the picture game. Now ideally, you'll have a few people to play this one, but you can play it with just 2 of you as well. So here's what you'll need. A string, a small mirror, one for each player, a camera with the flash on, a glass with a bit of alcohol, wine works well, and a pair of scissors. So to start, you're gonna tie your string in a circle. Put the string in the middle of the room with your glass in the middle of the circle. Have everyone sit around the string holding their mirrors, pointing them at the ceiling. Next, turn off them lights. It's something you're going to hear a lot in this video. Next, everyone closes their eyes, and while holding hands, each person says out loud, I trust you, followed by everyone repeating 3 times in unison. If this ritual has worked, you've now invited something into the room, which you can now try and snap a picture of. Start passing your camera around the circle, and each person who gets it says out loud, I caught you, before snapping a picture with the flash on. Now, before you stop, you need to formally end the game. Everyone closes their eyes and repeats 3 times, it is time to go home. Then you point your mirrors face down, cut the string, and dispose of the alcohol in the glass. If all this has worked, you can start going through the pictures now, and you might see something lurking in the background. The elevator game. For this one, you'll just need access to an elevator with 10 floors, and like with most of these games, playing it at night is probably ideal. So in order to play, enter the elevator and proceed to reach various floors in a sequence. Make sure there's no stranger getting on the elevator with you. If they do, you'll just have to start over again. But you can play with friends. So start by ascending to the 4th floor, then go back down to the 2nd, go back up to the 6th floor, then back down to the 2nd again. At this point, some people say they hear a strange voice calling to them from that 2nd floor, but don't respond, just proceed to the 10th floor. And once you reach the 10th, head back down to the 5th. It's very important that you don't get off the elevator at any point throughout this sequence. Once at the 5th floor, it's said that a mysterious woman may enter the elevator. Don't make eye contact or interact with her in any way. Now, hit the 1st floor button. If the elevator takes you to the 1st floor, then leave the elevator, do not look behind you. But if the elevator instead begins going up, then you've now entered into a different world. In order to go back to our world, you'll need to enter back into the elevator you started in and repeat the same sequence as before. Number 7, Red Book. This game originated in Mexico, and if done right, it allows you and your pals to make contact with a ghost. So, you'll need 2 or more people to play. A book with a red hardcover and a red candle. To start, turn off the lights, light your candle, place your hand on the book, and say out loud, Red Book, can I enter your game? Next, you keep your eyes shut and open the book to a random page. Place your finger on the page, then open your eyes, and whatever sentence your finger is placed on is the answer to your question. Now, if the sentence just doesn't make any sense at all, then congratulations, there's probably no spirit in your house. If the sentence does fit as a response, then you'll either proceed with the game or not proceed with the game, depending on what the response is. Something closer to a yes or closer to a no. If you do proceed with playing, beginning, everyone takes turns asking questions until you decide to end the game. At which point, you'll all need to ask Redbook, can I leave your game? And you'll need to receive something along the lines of a yes before you can stop. So yeah, you can be playing this one for a while. Number 6, Baby Blue. This game is similar to Bloody Mary, but you can't do it with friends. If you're gonna play this game, gotta go in alone. Go into the bathroom, turn off all the lights, lock the door. Maybe switch that around and lock the door before you turn off the lights. Then you hold your arms out in front of you as if you're cradling a baby. Then you're going to repeat out loud 13 times, Baby Blue, Blue Baby, while rocking your arms gently back and forth like you're cradling the baby. At some point, you may start to feel your arms getting heavier, as if there is a real baby in your arms. Don't hold on to it for too long though. You need to mime flushing it down the toilet. Otherwise, a woman will appear in your mirror demanding her baby back, and if it's still in your arms, it's game over for you. Because apparently, for this ghost, gently cradling their infant in your arms, I'll kill you! Flush it down the toilet? Yeah. Sure. Number 5, Queen of Spades. For this game, you're going to need a Queen of Spades card, a mirror, some lipstick, and a candle. Place the face of the card up against the mirror, light your candle, and place it in front of the mirror. Next, shut off the lights. Then you're going to use the lipstick to draw a door with a set of stairs leading from it on the mirror. Once that's done, take a step back, close your eyes, and repeat 3 times, Queen of Spades, come. Now, make sure to concentrate very hard on imagining the Queen of Spades opening the door and ascending the stairs. You may hear a slight sound of footsteps at this point. Then you're going to slowly open your eyes, and if it's worked, there she'll be staring back at you from the mirror. At this point, you can ask for a wish. Now, if it looks like the woman is getting closer, or you can feel as if you're having a hard time breathing, you need to end the game. Say Queen of Spades, go away, before quickly wiping off the lipstick drawing, then turn on the lights and blow out the candle. Next up, we have Berserk. Now, Berserk is actually a video game released in 1980 by Stern Electronics. It's a classic arcade game where players control this humanoid character moving through a maze that's filled with robots. The objective was to destroy the robots while avoiding their attacks. This game gained popularity or notoriety for its simple yet addictive gameplay, and there was like this speech synthesis involved, which included phrases like intruder alert and the humanoid must not escape. Back then, that was just really cool. Alongside with its success though, the game became a bit of a center of an urban legend, claiming that the game was cursed. The legend originated from several incidents involving players who died shortly after achieving high scores. One notable case involved a teenager named Peter Burkowski who reportedly suffered a heart attack and died immediately after achieving a record-breaking score. Number 3, Daruma-san, aka the bath game. So, what you're going to do is run a bath, then turn off the lights and position yourself in the bath facing the faucet. Then close your eyes and begin to wash your hair. And as you wash your hair, you repeat out loud, Daruma-san fell down. Daruma-san fell down. Soon, the image of a Japanese woman will appear in your mind, standing in the bathtub where she then slips and falls, hitting her head on a rusty tap. One of her eyes will pop out. Then you'll feel that someone else is in the bathtub with you. Make sure you keep your eyes closed and then ask, why did you fall in the bathtub? Now slowly get out of the tub and leave the bathroom. Don't turn the lights on. Don't drain the water, just go to bed. Once morning comes, she'll be after you. Go about your usual business, but when you sense the presence of the one-eyed woman getting a little too close for comfort, yell Tomare. This is to give you a bit of time to get further away from her. You can't let her catch you or it's game over, which means you die. And before the clock strikes midnight, you need to end the game or she'll end you. To end the game, you must look over your right shoulder, and when you manage to catch a glimpse of her, shout Kita while making a chopping motion with your arm. This cuts her loose, and the game is over. Number 2, the telephone ritual. Now, in order to play this game, you need to be in a house, a building, an apartment, whatever. There just can't be anyone else there, not even a pet. Yes, this is another one of those games you need to be brave enough to play alone. You also need a flashlight, a bag of salt, your cell phone, and wherever you are needs to have a landline. So most of you probably already moving on to the next one. I don't know, maybe you could stay late at the office, wait for everyone to go home or something, get your grandparents out of the house for an hour. You'll figure it out. You just get it done. So to start, you're going to pour a line of salt on the outside of the bathroom door. Yes, another creepy bathroom game. Toilet humor and toilet horror, the staples of childhood. Then you turn off all the lights in the house, make sure it's pitch dark, go into the bathroom, lock the door, and turn on your flashlight. Point the flashlight at the toilet, then pull out your cell phone and call your landline. Someone might just answer. Not sure what pointing the flashlight at the toilet has to do with it, but it's just part of the ritual. And coming in at number 1, we have the little finger game. Now, unlike the other games on this list, you don't need anything besides a computer or phone to look up the little finger game story that you're going to need to read in order to play. But hang on, before you do that, just know that as soon as you read the story, the game has begun, whether you like it or not. So maybe wait until I give you the lowdown on this one. You find the story, you read it. It's a short story, you can read it in your head or out loud, up to you, and that's it. Then you just wait. This game takes place in your dreams. Within 7 days or so after reading the story, you'll have a dream, and in said dream, a woman will come to you asking for help, searching for her little finger. You'll have a choice between 2 answers, yes or no. Say yes, and make sure you find that finger. If you're not prepared to do all that, then don't read the story, because if you can't find that finger, then I don't know what happens. I haven't read the story. I don't want to.
Coming in at number 10, we have One Man Hide and Seek. In Japan, this game is known as Hitoru Kakurenbo. I might have said that wrong. Let me tell you though, your stuffed toy will never be the same again. So, what you need here is a stuffed animal, but it has to have arms and legs, so think bear rather than crocodile. Also, it has to have a name. For example, Ted the Dread. Basically, you cut Ted the Dread open, remove his stuffing, replace it with rice, and then some fingernail clippings. Creepy. You then sew the bear back up, wrap it, thread it, do all of that kind of stuff, put it back together. You then put this stuffed toy in the bath and say, for the first game, I'm it. You then count to 10 with your eyes closed, then you're supposed to stab the toy and say I won. Just sounds very dramatic. You then announce to the toy that it is gonna be it, and then you have to go and hide. For some reason, it's important that you hide with a glass of salt water, and if you feel scared, put some of that in your mouth. When the game is over and the toy hasn't found you in an hour, fingers crossed, you go back, spit the salt water on the toy and burn it. Bye, Ted! Honestly, it all sounds like a lot of hassle to me. Ah yes, at number 9, we have a classic. It's the Ouija board. Tale as old as time, right? Do you guys even need me to explain this one? Can we just move on to number 8? No? I have to say the words? Okay then. An Ouija board is a board with printed letters, numbers and signs, plus the words yes, no, good and bye. It is used to summon spirits and communicate with them. Famously, bad spirits have indeed been summoned. Interestingly, you can actually buy an Ouija board in a lot of mainstream game shops. Why buy one when you could make one yourself? Coming into number 8, we have Charlie Charlie. Charlie Charlie is a game, I guess, a bit like the Ouija board, but it's way more DIY. A person balances pencils on top of one another with no and yes written in squares. Charlie Charlie can't be used to summon any demon though. It seems that the infamous Charlie is the only one that will appear. And again, I'm not sure you want to meet him. Players of the game say something like, Charlie Charlie, are you here? And then the pencil moves and teenagers freak out on YouTube. That's the trend. So why do the pencils move? Clearly because a demon has been summoned, not because of friction and gravity. Demon. Coming in at number 7, we have the living doll. Do you know what? I really don't like a creepy doll. I don't. In fact, I feel like you shouldn't have dolls over the age of 10. Just get rid of them because they'll probably haunt you. They pop up everywhere and they're always causing paranormal havoc. Get those dolls out. So Living Doll is like a cocktail of paranormal game fusion. It's got a lot of scary game tropes, candlesticks, mirrors, hiding, a doll. So here you're supposed to put a doll and a candle between 2 mirrors and say a little incantation. You then blow out the flame and wait for the doll to come and find you. If it finds you, then bad news bears. You're supposed to hide for around an hour and try not to get found. If you remain unfound, then good. Congratulations, you survive. You then return to the doll, which may have moved, pour pour salt on it, and put it in a cupboard overnight. That ought to do it. Coming into number 6, we have Midnight Man. Midnight Man is a modern rehashing of an old pagan ritual and is essentially a game to summon a spirit. I feel like all of these games summon spirits, you know. To play, you write your name on a piece of paper. You have to prick your finger and produce a small drop of blood and put it on the paper. You then light a candle and then you tape the paper with your name on it to a wooden door. It has to be wooden, apparently, so. Timing is very important here. You have to then knock on the door 22 times, with the last knock coming exactly at the stroke of midnight. You then open the door, blow out the candle, close the door, relight the candle. To me, it's all a big faff. This apparently means that the Midnight Man is now in your house. Your job is to avoid being caught by the Midnight Man, who will try and scare you until 3:33 AM. No more, no less. Honestly, I'd much rather just be in bed having a good sleep. It sounds like way too much aggro. Whatever you do, don't say his name 5 times unless you want to play the game, in which case, go ahead. That's right guys, at number 5 we have Candyman. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. Actually, do you know what? I think I'll stop there. The Candyman is allegedly a murder victim with a hook for a hand, like Captain Hook, one of my favourite characters ever. He's mean. If you say Candyman's name 5 times, then you will summon him. The only issue, aside from summoning a demon, is, you know, he's angry. He probably wants you to die. There is a movie made about it. Have you seen it? Let me know. Coming into number 4, we have the Devil's Dog. Yet another summoning game, although this one doesn't require a mirror. Shocker. If calling forth the Hounds of Hell is high up on your to-do list, then you'll be pleased to know it's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is close your eyes, although allegedly the game works best in a group of 4 with one person in the middle. Alone or together, you close your eyes and hunch into a little ball and say, "Devil's Dog, Devil's Dog, Satan bring me Devil's Dog," over and over again until you feel scratch marks on your back. You'll likely even see them. This way you'll know that you've been marked by the Hellhounds. Apparently they'll provide you with protection, but you'll also be cursed, so, you know, again, Tea and Catan? Anyone? Coming into number 3, we have Mirror Tunnels. Mirror Tunnels is a classic parallel universe game. For this one, you're supposed to set up 2 very big mirrors facing one another, and then you physically stand in the middle. You stand looking in the mirror and count how many frames you can see over your shoulder in your reflection, like mirror after mirror after mirror after mirror, kind of like that bit in Black Swan. It's actually honestly probably enough to send you mad. So you were supposed to look out for movement in the frames. You should be standing still, but one of your reflections might move in another dimension. Honestly, to me it's all a bit mind-bending, but basically, so it goes. One version of you in a different dimension may bring something bad to your current dimension. Do you know what? I've gone cross-eyed. I feel like we need to move on. It's too much. Although I will say, in every world in which you exist, are you always going to be good? Honestly, probably better just to leave this one alone. Okay, this is another scary game that comes from Japan, and to me that makes it a little bit scarier. We have the bath game. Also known as Daruma-san, the bath game involves summoning a grotesque ghost, and then you gotta stop it from catching you. Again, I'm sensing a theme here. This is like very normal for paranormal games, right? Honestly, summoning a demon in the bath isn't my kind of party. I'd rather have a candle and a glass of wine and a good book, but whatever floats your boat. It seems that this game involves taking a bath at night in the dark and sitting facing the taps. You're supposed to wash your hair and then repeat the words "Daruma-san fell down" over and over again. You've got to keep your eyes shut, but you'll feel a presence in the bath with you. When you feel the presence, you should ask, why did you fall in the bath? When you feel like the presence finally leaves you, you've got to get out of the bath, but leave the water where it is, don't drain it. The next morning is when the game begins. The ghost of Daruma will follow you. She'll get closer as the day goes on, but you cannot let her catch you. When you see her over your shoulder, you must shout "Kita," which means I cut you loose, and then perform a karate chop. Kita! I mean, that sounds fun, but honestly, the whole thing sounds pretty pointless. Why spend a day escaping a demon when you could just, you know, be having a good day? Pray for devils have no reason. Satan waits to curse your ways. Have you seen it in his eyes in the sunset? Have you wonder if he's laughing when he plays? That's right, coming into number 1 we have the Devil's Game. Great! So I found that terrifying description on a game listed on creepypasta.com, and it seems that the game has a 9.1 out of 10 rating from over 5,000 votes, so it must be scary. The game allegedly allows you to speak with the devil, and if you do it right, I quote, "there's a fair chance you'll walk away scot-free." Good. The purpose of the game is not to make a deal with the devil, but just to ask him things. What type of things? Well, the post reads that he could very well be able to predict the winning numbers of tomorrow's Powerball, for example, or tell you what deadly undiagnosed condition might be afflicting one of your loved ones. How do you play? Well, the creepypasta says that the demon can be summoned at a church at midnight, but it works even better on a new moon, full moon, Friday the 13th, Halloween, etc. You will, you guessed it, need salt, 7 white or red candles, some matches, red string, a mirror. You cannot bring any electronic devices into the room, as apparently that is not something that the devil is okay with. Apparently all you have to do is light the candles and stare into the mirror and will the devil to come. When he appears, one is supposed to challenge him to a game of question and response. The best way to get a truthful answer from him, according to the creepypasta, is to accept a dare from him. Now I don't know about you, but I will not be doing any dares set to me by the devil.
Starting us off with number 10 is the elevator game. This one is extremely popular in Japan, and I feel like Japan just gets creepy stuff right like 99.9% of the time, so I trust them. Either way, the point of this game is to maybe transport to another world or parallel universe of sorts. To play, you have to be in a building that has at least 10 floors, and you have to be the only one in the elevator at all times. To start the game, you have to go to a sequence of floors in a specific order, but if any random person gets in the elevator while you're doing this, you have to start all over again, so it is a bit of a mission. So the order is the 4th floor, then the 2nd, then 6th, then 2nd, then 10th, and then finally the 5th. If a woman enters the elevator while you're on the 5th floor, do not look at her, don't speak to her, no eye contact, no nothing. This woman is not human and will keep you with her forever if you have any interaction with her. Once she enters, press the 1st floor and then the elevator will go up or down as it pleases, and it should take you to the 10th floor. At this point, leave the elevator straight away. The woman will ask you in an inhuman high-pitched voice where you're going or what's wrong. Do not answer her, just go. If you exit the elevator and it's dark, your phone doesn't work, and you see a red cross outside one of the windows, then you've reached the other world. Congratulations. And the only way to get back to our world is to repeat all the steps you did to leave it, but if you reach the 1st floor and the door opens but things seem off, even if a speck of dust is out of place, then do not exit the elevator because you will die. Apparently this is what Eliza Lamb was doing in the elevator CCTV footage of her right before she died. And I've seen that footage, but I didn't know about the game at the point, and I was like, wow. Coming in at number 9 is Dry Bones. So if you like hide and seek, you're gonna like this one, or maybe you won't, depending on how much of a scaredy cat you are. I definitely am, but yeah. So Dry Bones is like hide and seek demon edition. Great, must they just interject in everything we do? So you can only play near midnight, and you start off by getting a candle and a match. At precisely 12:01 AM, you have to go to your bathroom and stare at the mirror while lighting the candle. Keep the match burning until it goes out completely, and then say, I am aware of your presence and I welcome you into my home. Come now. And this is essentially the point you're inviting a demon into your house, and if you've made it this far, this is the part where you run for your freaking life and hide like your life depends on it, cause it high-key does. To survive the game, you need to stay hidden till 3 AM. Once the clock hits 3, go to the largest room in your house and say thank you for playing, but you must leave now. You are no longer welcome. If you hear a groaning sound right after that, then the demon will leave your house and give you a prize of your choosing. I don't really know how this bit works, like do you have a conversation with the demon? Does it magically know what you want? I don't really know. But if you don't hear a groaning sound, then that means the demon wasn't satisfied with how you played, and let's just say you'll face a fate worse than death. So in conclusion, just don't lose. Easy. At number 8 we have 3 Kings. Now this game actually came from the No Sleep subreddit thread, which we all go and explore when we're, just feeling a type of way. Either way, in order to play you need 3 chairs. 2 have to face each other and there has to be a mirror on each one. The 3rd chair gets placed in the middle of the 2 chairs, and that one is your throne, making you the king. Hello, your highness. The mirrors constitute as your queen and your fool, but you don't know which one is which, and mind you, this all has to be done in the dark. And keep in mind from
from the queen and fool's point of view, you're also either their queen or their fool. I said it was called Three Kings, right? There have to be three kings. At 3:30 AM, sit on the throne with a lit candle facing one of the mirrors. Hold the candle, stare into the darkness, and start the game. The whole point of the game is to literally transport your consciousness to a whole other dimension or get to the shadow side. People have claimed they've had conversations with themselves in an out-of-body introspective experience or manner. You become able to look at your past and present through new eyes. Others have said the whole thing feels like a lucid dream almost, or meditation, which are two very different experiences, so I guess it really just depends on what you're like as a person. Let me know if you try it. I'd be very interested to know if you thought it was a lucid dream or meditation. Filling our number 7 slot is Concentrate. Now I totally get why a lot of people would want to play this one, and I also get why people wouldn't, so let me know which side you fall on. So this is actually classified as a scary sleepover game, but I'm like, which 15-year-old is going to want to play this? I would not have been doing this at 15, but that's me. Either way, if you're the one playing, you need to close your eyes and sit on the ground while a friend sits behind you reciting a dark poem about babies crying and people dying. The poem is long as hell. I'm not going to stand here reciting the whole thing for you, but you can Google it if you want to play. While they're reciting it, the person has to be lightly tapping the back of the person who's actually playing. They then imitate murdering you in multiple ways. Get creative here, people, you know, get those slit throats in there. And then finally, your friend has to push you over from your sitting position. By the end of this whole experience, you should feel like you're in a trance of some kind, and this trance essentially allows you to see how you yourself will end up dying. Apparently, you'll see a color of some kind, and that color corresponds to a way of death. Again, you can find it on Google. Hey man, some people just want to know about the end and others don't. To each their own. I think I would not want to play this game. I don't want to know how I go. It can just remain a mystery. I don't want to predict it. I don't want to know. At number 4 is The Answer Man. Now this is another one from Japan, and it's a bit of an urban legend. Apparently the game invokes an evil spirit if done correctly, so if that sounds like your jam, then listen up. Now with this one, you have to play with 10 people, so if you don't have 10 friends, I certainly don't, then you can't play the game. I'm sorry, you loner. So step 1 is to sit in a circle, and you all have to have your phones on you. On the count of 3, or just at the same time, every person has to call the person on their left and then listen. Since everyone's calling each other all at the same time, everyone should hear the busy ringtone and no one's call should be answered. But one call will be. If your call gets answered, that is the answer man. If you get him on the phone, you can ask him absolutely anything and he will answer it truthfully and rightfully. But with every question you ask, he gets to ask you a question too that you have to answer. If you answer his questions wrong or don't answer them period, then a gnarled, bony hand will appear out of the phone and tear off a piece of your body. Honestly, I'm down to play this game as long as my call isn't the one that gets answered. I don't mind being, you know, like a spectator to the mayhem. I don't want to be involved, but like I'll be eating popcorn and watching everything unfold. Safe over there. Filling our number 3 slot is the Dark Reflection Ritual. And contrary to the title of it, it still is a game, not just a ritual, so don't worry, I didn't snake you. So the whole point of this one is to boost your luck, but to do that, you're gonna have to go through a night of terrible, terrible luck to get there. You can play this game by yourself if you're ballsy, or in a group. If you're not, I would definitely play it in a group, because personally there are strength in numbers and I'm not trying to die. Or at least I'm not trying to die first. So you play by finding a mirror. A small handheld one is the best one to have, and you have to look at your reflection in the eyes for a few seconds. While you do this, you have to focus all your bad negative energy and breathe it onto the mirror till it fogs up completely. At that point, you quickly hold the mirror to a burning flame to create a black smudge on it. After that, the rockstar can come out of you a bit, because then you get to smash the mirror, which is a lot of fun. But your rockstar dreams are gonna end very shortly after that, because the rest of the night will be hell. Bad luck will follow you and get worse and more dangerous as the night goes on. Be on your guard, try not to die, and if you survive till the sun rises, then you've basically won at life. The game is meant to give you success in everything you do very shortly after, and to be honest, this game is sounding real tempting to me right now. Be right back. Now at number 2 is the telephone ritual. This one's extremely dangerous, so you really need to proceed with caution on this one. I mean, then again, they all are. So what you need is a phone, salt, a flashlight, but you can also use a light on your phone, and an amulet for protection. But that one's optional. I mean, how many people have a handy dandy amulet just lying around? I certainly don't. So this one can only be played alone and only at night. After midnight, when you're home alone, turn off all the lights in your house and make your way to your bathroom. Scatter scatter salt around the toilet door and make a sort of barrier of salt outside it and then lock yourself inside. Use the flashlight to light up the surface of water in the toilet bowl and just keep staring at the water. And please try not to or something in there beforehand, because that's just going to make for a very unpleasant game. While still staring into the bowl, call your house phone and let it ring and don't hang up. And at this point, one of two things can happen. If you start seeing the surface of the water change or you hear a noise from inside the house, then hang up ASAP and scatter salt all around yourself. Now the second thing that can happen is that if someone answers your call, then hang up straight away, get the hell out of the toilet, put salt around the house phone, and hopefully you'll be safe in that moment, but not for long. To be on the safest side, just sprinkle salt all around your house after this. But the point of the game is that apparently the ghost of an ancestor or a spirit that haunts your house is meant to answer the phone and kind of just be in your house. I'm honestly not trying to awaken any demon, ghost, entity that lives in my house. You can just stay in hibernation, thank you.
In at 9, Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is the legend of a ghost or a phantom or a spirit, whatever you want to call it, that is conjured to reveal the future. She is said to appear in a mirror when her name is chanted repeatedly, and appearances are mostly witnessed in group participation or by someone who is about to die. Historically, the divination ritual encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backwards, holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. As they gazed into the mirror, they were supposed to be able to catch a view of their future husband's face. There was, however, a chance that they would see a skull, the face of the Grim Reaper, which indicated that they were going to die before they had the chance to marry. Today, Bloody Mary allegedly appears to individuals or groups who ritualistically invoke her name in an act of captromancy, which is a fancy word for mirror divination. This is done by repeatedly chanting her name into a mirror placed in a dimly lit or candlelit room, typically done in the bathroom, and this name must be uttered at a certain number of times, but different sources have different numbers. The most common is 3, however it can go up to 13. I've never done this personally, mostly because I don't really have any friends, but either way, I don't really think that this is a good idea, or believe in this kind of thing, but like I still don't want to get possessed.
Moving on to number 8, we have Sad Satan. Now if you're a fan of horror games, then chances are you have heard about this game and this weird legend that's associated with it. Legend goes that a YouTuber named Jamie over on Obscure Horror Corner found this game called Sad Satan while digging around the dark web. They thought it was just a normal creepy game until they realized it was much more. The game starts off with you wandering around a dark hallway. While doing so, eerie noises follow you around, including footsteps, distorted voices, and whispering. Some people claim that when playing the game, they hear whispers saying kill, kill, kill. The hallway ends up morphing and more unusual things start to happen. Apparently at this point, real images of dead people and murder and kidnapping victims flash on the screen, as well as other R-rated dark web stuff. Some who have played the game have claimed to feel dizzy and have gotten sick by it. The most messed up part is that in one version of the game, their character is attacked, and as their character's health lowers, their health in real life lowers as well.
In at 7, Ouija. The Ouija, also known as a spirit board or talking board, is a flat board marked with the letters of the alphabet, the numbers 0 to 9, and the words yes and no. Sometimes it has hello and goodbye. It uses a planchette as a movable indicator to spell out messages during a seance. Participants place their fingers on the planchette and it is moved about the board to spell out words by spirits. Fun fact, the term of Ouija is actually a trademark of Hasbro, but is often used to generically refer to any spirit board. Paranormal and supernatural beliefs associated with Ouija have been criticized by the scientific community and are characterized as a pseudoscience. The action of the board can be most easily explained by unconscious movements of those controlling the pointer, a phenomenon known as the ideomotor effect. But mainstream Christian denominations, including Catholicism, have warned us against using Ouija boards, holding that they can lead to demonic possessions. Occultists, on the other hand, are divided on the issue, some saying that it can be used as a tool for positive transformation, don't know how that works, and others are reiterating the warnings and caution many inexperienced users against it. But hey, it's ages 9 and up, so you have to be at least 9 years old to summon Satan. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.
In our 6th spot today, we have Repla Snatus, which is Satan's helper spelled backwards. So you already know the vibe of this game. So legend goes that this website is haunted by a little girl that was killed by her father. One night, a storm knocked down a foam pole that was located over her grave. Shortly after, this website mysteriously actually appeared online. Now, it said that you can only enter the site at midnight. If you try to go on it at any other time, a box will appear where you put your email in and then you'll receive an audio message from this girl that tells you to come back at midnight to play. So if you do enter the website at midnight, you'll see scary pictures of this girl and she'll ask you to play a game with her. You then sift through the website clicking on various pictures and clues while creepy things can be heard. Once you successfully complete the game, a box will appear where you can type in your enemy's name. There the girl will get revenge on this person. But here's one little tiny catch. By her getting revenge on your enemy, she will haunt you in your dreams every night until you die, or until you're driven to insanity. Apparently the website that is currently up though is not the original. The original one is banned and only can be found in the depth of the dark web.
Halfway through into number 5, the Midnight Game. What comes to mind when you think of the Midnight Game? A game played in the dark, maybe the creepypasta, or maybe even the video game adaptation. While all of these are valid, the Midnight Game actually has roots as a pagan ritual that was used as a form of punishment for those who disobeyed the gods. The game itself is pretty simple, but the ritual or summoning is complex and not for those of you who can't actually prick your finger or actually follow rules. So simply put, you need a candle holder, because you're not gonna hold it with your hand. Matches, a pen, paper, a needle or a pin or something to draw blood, and a wooden front door, specifically wooden, okay? If it's mahogany, that's preferred. Everything should be set up and ready before 12 a.m. as you won't have time to go back for everything once the game has actually begun. So, you write your name on a piece of paper with the pen. Then you prick yourself and put a drop of blood on the paper, okay? This is some real blood magic stuff. Gather the rest of your supplies, place the paper with your name and the blood on it in front of your wooden door, turn off all your lights, all your electronics, everything, light your candle, and then once it reaches 11:59, set your candle next to the paper and then start knocking on the door 22 times, making sure you complete the 20-second knock as the clock strikes midnight. Not sure how you're gonna do that, but have fun. After the 20-second knock, open your door, blow out your candle, close your door, and then immediately relight your candle. And apparently, you just summoned the Midnight Man, because then you gotta start moving all over your house, and you can't stop moving. You're not allowed to stay in the same place for more than a few seconds, otherwise he's going to get you, okay? Then you have to keep doing this until 3:33 a.m. I don't know why you would willingly do this. It seems like a horrible idea, but hey, that's how we get horror movies, right?
In our 4th spot, we have the Blind Maiden game. I believe I talked about this game before, but it deserves a spot on today's list because it's one of the creepiest games that I have ever heard of. Basically, it's a website, Blind Maiden, and is haunted by a woman with no eyes. She's blind, and she's a maiden. It can only be accessed at exactly midnight. But in order to get on, you have to be alone in your room with the lights off. If you meet this criteria, then you will be allowed to access the website. How does the website know you're doing this? Don't ask me, it's haunted. Once you get on the website, you have to be very careful what you click. Apparently, people have suffered from clicking things they shouldn't have, whatever that means. Eventually, on the website, a notification will pop up asking you if you accept or decline. If you accept, then the footage on your screen will change and you will then see live footage of someone approaching your house. This person will enter your house and you will see them approach you. But if you turn around, then the blind maiden will attack you. She'll rip out your eyes and then take a picture of you. This picture is then posted onto the website along with hundreds of other photos of her victims, all with their eyes gouged out. Now, if you choose the other option, decline, then you will be safe from the maiden, but you will no longer have access to this site. Either way, it's not worth the gamble, okay? I personally would like to keep my eyes.
In at 3, the elevator game. Elevators are relatively safe inventions, okay? They're meant to go up and down in all kinds of orders with numerous stops. That's what they're made for. So playing this game isn't putting any real stress on the elevator, but you'll be in an elevator for an extended period of time, and that always comes with a risk because, you know, fire, power going out, that kind of thing. And if that happens, an elevator is going to be the last place you want to be. But that's if you're normal. If you're playing this game, you're probably not going to be normal because you're trying to cross dimensions. Yeah, that's right, okay? This game is said to do many things, from opening portals to different dimensions to summoning the devil. So obviously, here's how you play. Get in the elevator alone or with friends, and then go to floors 4, 3, 6, 2, 10, 5, and then back down to 1. In that order specifically, okay? On the 5th floor, you'll meet a strange woman, and you just ignore her, okay? Don't interact with her at all. Just let her do her thing, and then let it pass, and then you just call floor 1, okay? And then, once you do, if you go back down to floor 1, get out of the elevator and don't look back. In fact, run 10 blocks away. But, if you do end up instead going up to floor 10, it requires at least 10 floors, alright? Okay? So, if you go up to floor 10, good luck, cause that's when the bad things happen. You're either gonna be in a new dimension or you're gonna be talking with Satan, and if you do, can you ask him for my soul back? If anyone gets in or out of the elevator while you're attempting this, you're going to need to restart. But also, maybe you shouldn't do this at all because, you know, being possessed or transcending dimensions isn't necessarily a good thing.
In our second spot today, we have Crossroads. Now, this is a very popular game in Japan. Sometimes it's called the Crossroads game, other times it's called the Fortune game, because the game is said to tell you your fortune. To do this, you need to follow the game's instructions very carefully. You need a comb, something to hide your face with, and crossroad, an intersection with 2 or more roads. At night, you go to the crossroads and stand near a corner. You then stroke the comb so that it makes a noise, and repeat this. Suji-ura, grant me a true response. Then you have to hide your face. And then you wait. If you did everything correctly, someone will approach you. Do not reveal your face to them at any time though. When they approach you, you ask them for your fortune. They should tell you it. Sadly, you might not always receive the answers that you're looking for. Apparently, a number of people in Japan have taken their lives playing this game after receiving a bad fortune. This has resulted in its ban in Japan.
Finally, in at number 1, FNAF Help Wanted. Actually, ironically enough, the whole point of Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted is that you end up getting possessed in the end. And as we now know, at least I know, you'll know now, in Help Wanted we play as Vanessa A, who gets bumped up to be a video game tester after the last one gets removed. We spend the game trying to collect 16 cassette tapes that inadvertently end up summoning the sentient digital code manifestation of the series' main serial killer, William Afton. No, I'm not joking, this is actually the story. And known in this game as Glitch Trap. He then proceeds to take over our mind no matter what we do, allowing for our character to become the main villain in the next game, FNAF Security Breach. Trust me, I wish I was joking when I say this, but the whole point of this game is that you end up getting possessed at the end no matter what. Therefore, much like the various other games on this list, the only way to win is just not by playing.
Starting off this countdown, we have the corner game. For this game, you need 4 people. One person stands in each corner of the room with the lights off. They face towards the walls. You then count down from 3, and then everybody turns clockwise towards another corner. You then count down again from 3 and rotate again. After you've completed a full rotation, one member of your group will disappear. Don't say anything though. If you're lucky, it won't be you. This friend was then taken to the spirit realm. To get them back, everyone has to say their name backwards 3 times and then turn on the lights. Your friend should then reappear. If they don't, I guess they're stuck in the spirit realm forever. Moving on to number 9, we have the bathtub game, also known as Daruma-san. Basically, this game involves summoning a creepy Japanese woman that will haunt you. So basically, you start by pouring yourself a nice hot bath. You then hop into the bath with the lights off, and I guess wear your clothes unless you want this ghost demon to see you naked. Maybe that will scare her off. I don't know. Anyways, make sure you're facing the faucet and then close your eyes and repeat this out loud. Daruma-san fell down. Daruma-san fell down. Say it over and over again until she pops into your mind. You'll then see a Japanese woman standing in the bathtub with you. She will then fall down and hit her face on the faucet. Her right eye will pop out. Without you opening your eyes or turning on the lights, you have to get out of the tub and walk straight to your bed. However, the next day you will find that the ghost of this woman that died in the bathtub will now be haunting you. Everywhere you go, she will be right there. And though you might not never see her, you will always feel like someone is standing by you or watching you. Now, if you do end up seeing her, you have to yell "Kita," which is Japanese for "I cut you loose." It helps if you swing your arms down in a chopping motion. That will apparently cut her loose from you and you will no longer be haunted. If not, you'll have her following you around and haunting you for the rest of your life. In our 8th spot, we have Charlie Charlie. A couple of years ago, this game was a huge internet sensation. People filmed themselves playing this game and claimed it worked. Now, it's pretty simple to play. All you need to do is get a piece of paper, draw a a grid on it so that there are 4 different sections and write yes and no in the boxes. Then take 2 pencils and balance one on top of the other to form a cross. Start by saying, "Charlie, Charlie, are you here?" If he's there, the pencils will move and it should point to yes. Then you can start to ask him yes or no questions. But you have to be careful because it's believed that Charlie is an evil demon from Mexico and he has sinister intentions. He will either kill you or possess you and then kill you. In our 7th spot today we have the closet game. Now this game is literally marketed as a game that will summon demons into your own home. Now I don't know who hears that and then thinks, wow, sounds good, it's fun, let's play this game. But there are a few people out there that have done this. All you have to do is stand in your closet at night with an unlit match. Then out loud you have to say, "Show me the light or leave me in the darkness." Once you hear a faint whisper, you gotta light up that match. If you don't, you'll be dragged off into the darkness and probably die. Now if you light the match in time, you're safe from the demon. But now, you have invited it to live in your closet, and you always have to shut the closet door every night before bed or else he will come out to get you. And you can never look inside the closet without the light being turned on, or again, he will get you. Like there's literally nothing positive about this game. Like chances are the demon will get you. Coming in at number 6 we have Candyman. If you've seen the film Candyman, then you probably already know how to play it. It's pretty much like Bloody Mary. You're in the bathroom in front of the mirror with the lights off. You then need to say Candyman's name 5 times. After doing so, you need to turn on the lights immediately or else the Candyman will get you and kill you in a very gruesome manner. And that's it. That's the game. Again, I don't know why someone would want to play this game. It's a matter of life and death. I guess people just like the adrenaline rush of finding the light fast enough before they die. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the thumb game. Now this game is based off of an old Japanese legend in which a woman gets murdered and dismembered by a serial killer. The police managed to locate all her chopped up body parts except for her left thumb. So for this game, you and 3 or more friends sit in a circle with a lit candle in the middle. Each person holds onto the thumb of the person sitting to his or her right. So everyone is grabbing everyone's left thumb. You then close your eyes and repeat this chant. Oh yeah, you be, hear our voices. Oh yeah, you be, grant our wish. Within moments, you'll be transported to the scene of the murder. The object of the game is to then find this girl's thumb. However, you have to do so while holding onto your friend's thumb the entire time. Should you let go, they will be taken away to the spirit realm. At some point, you might feel a bony finger tapping on your shoulder, but whatever you do not look around. Doing so will get you killed. You have until the candle burns out to find the missing thumb, and then you'll return to your home. If you don't find the thumb, however, you're SOL. Moving on to number 4, we have one-man hide and seek. Ever wanted to play hide and seek but don't have any friends to play with? Well, no fear. You can now summon a demon and have them play hide and seek with you. All you gotta do is have a doll that the demon can possess. First, you have to rip out the stuffing of the doll and replace it with rice and one of your fingernails or a strand of hair. Then you have to sew it shut. Then you place the doll in a tub filled with water and turn the lights off. Fill your mouth with some salt water and then go back to the bathtub. The doll should be gone. You then have to wander around your house looking for the doll. You need to find her while still keeping the salty water in your mouth. I have no clue why, don't ask me, I didn't make up the game. Oh, and you have to find the doll in the dark. You can't use any light whatsoever. The game ends once you have found the doll and poured the salt water from your mouth on it. Once the doll is dry, you need to burn the doll, or else this demon doll will terrorize you and your home. Coming in at number 3, we have Charlotte's Mirror. For this game, you get to contact a ghost of a 7-year-old girl named Charlotte. Charlotte died in the 15th century after her mom was burned alive at the stake for being a witch. So in order to contact her, you need to go into a dark room with a large mirror and a gift. Something Charlotte would like, maybe a toy. Anyways, you put the toy on the floor and you use the mirror to see Charlotte. So you point the mirror so you're looking at the reflection of the gift. If Charlotte likes the gift, she will reward you by answering any questions you have about the afterlife. But here's the thing, if she doesn't like your gift, you gotta run or else she's going to kill you. Also, whatever you do, do not bring candles. Her mom died from being burnt alive, so she does not like flames or fire. Okay, that's another sure way to piss her off. In our second spot, we have the binoculars game. Now, this game was posted by a Reddit user who claimed he learned this game from a book that had been passed around his family generation to generation. According to the book, you play the game as so. First, you need to visit an empty house with your friend. From there, tie a piece of rope to the front door and tie the other end of the rope to your friend. Then write this message on a piece of paper. We welcome you, you shall not be harmed, and you slip it under the door. You then need to wait until 10:30 p.m., at which you split off from your friend and explore the dark home. You have to then repeat the phrase, come, come, come with me, we'll have lots of fun, come with me. Then return to your friend and put your ear to the door. If you hear knocking, that means he is on his way. So you need to run upstairs with a pair of binoculars and look out the window. You should then see a shadowy figure in the distance moving towards the house. From there, lock all the doors, but open a window and shout out, "Forgive, for I am mistaken." You then close your eyes and open them again quickly. If the figure is no longer there, you're saved. If he's still coming, well, rest in peace to you both. I just don't understand why you need to tie your friend to the door. Like, are they a sacrifice or what? And in our number one spot today, we have the Hooded Man Ritual. For this game, you get to call on a ghost taxi cab with a hooded man behind the wheel. How fun. Basically, what you do is use an old rotary phone to call a specific number, and once you call this number and recite a certain phrase, which I will not tell you, a black taxi cab with a hooded man behind the wheel will show up at your location. You then have to enter the cab's back seat, lock the door, and go to sleep. Apparently, you'll fall asleep in 70 seconds. Then there's a huge list of things you have to follow and do. It's pretty complicated, but in the end, if you succeed, you'll make it home safely. But if the player stays in the cab until the hooded man reaches the end of his route, let's just say it won't be good. Also, if you look directly into the hooded man's eyes, you'll die immediately, so that's fun.